Howdy ho, Andrew here. Welcome to the Onion Buns and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Oilers. Oh boy, what a freaking week. Well, really, what a freaking day. I thought I had all my material ready for filming this Monday, October 6th. And the video will come out on Wednesday, October 8th. That'll be the first day that the Oilers have a regular season game this year. And then the McDavid news and the Wallman news broke in. Well, everything went out the window. So let's start with the big story of the day. Toronto is having a meltdown. The tears of shame are flowing down their faces. The media are having full-blown panic attacks. All because Connor McDavid signed a 2-year, $25 million contract in Edmonton. So he's in Edmonton for the next 3 years because he's still got a year left on this contract, and then he's got 2 more years. So that's 3 full years of being an Edmonton Oiler. And Toronto is having an absolute meltdown about it. It's just all over the place. The memes are out there. The radio is talking about it. It's glorious. I mean, it's absolutely glorious. Not so much the signing, though I'll get to the signing, but watching Toronto and their media they are just having a meltdown. There's no other way to put it. They are miserable, and I am laughing my ass off about it. All right, so enough gloating. Well, maybe not. Okay, no, enough gloating. For now. So Connor McDavid signed 2 years, $25 million. Well, he blew my prediction right out of the water, but he blew everyone's predictions right out of the water completely. Like, I predicted 4 years at $16.5 million a season. Now, as I've said in other videos, my reasoning was pretty simple. He is the best player in the game. Now, I made this prediction before Minnesota got stupid and paid Kaprizov $17 million, which is just asinine. That's just that rates right up there with what Matthews got from Toronto. It's just such a stupid contract. But I had predicted 4 years at $16.5 million a season, and then if we had not won the cup in 5 years or 4 years, Connor would walk to a top contender. So I was wrong. I have no problem admitting that. Everybody was wrong. Nobody was predicting 2 years, and nobody was predicting $12.5 million a season. Like, that's $4 million a season off of what I predicted. And I saw some pundits out there predicting 18, 19, 20 million a season, But Connor, he came out and he put his money where his mouth is. It's like, he wants to win the cup. That is his number one priority. So he took a substantial discount so that the team could build around him. Like, nobody can come back and say, oh, McDavid doesn't put the team first, because I can't think of another player in the history of hockey that's done this. Like, I've been thinking about it all afternoon. I can't think of a single one that's done this. And I didn't expect it because it's so below his market value. And I thought at 16.5 was a fair price tag because, first off, I mean, Connor must be a better person than me, because if I was a hockey player with his skill, I could not accept a contract that paid me less than Austin Matthews. I just couldn't. I still consider that a insult, but it was Connor's own doing, so clearly he's more concerned about winning. So there's that, I've said it before. I don't even have Austin Matthews in my top 10, if I'm being honest. So, yeah, he did what nobody expected. So nobody out there can badmouth him now. Like, if I hear somebody bitching and whining about McDavid and saying, he's not putting, I'm going to tell them to F off, straight to their face. Just tell them to go F themselves and get the hell out of my face. Because he did exactly what everyone's been bitching about players to do. He took well below market value. He put the team ahead of himself, and he said, I am going to give the team the financial maneuverability to build a winner around me. So, yeah, there's nothing negative you can say about this guy. He is the best player in the league, and now he is the best leader in the league, in my opinion. Bar none. Nobody else comes close, and sure, he doesn't really need the money. Like I saw an estimate last year that he was already something like $150 million net value. So like he's wealthy beyond belief. But still, who turns down $4 to $8 million a season when it's there for the grabbing? I can't think of a single hockey player out there that does this. So there's no ifs, ands, or buts. Connor McDavid wants to win the cup. He realizes Edmonton is his best chance right now, and he put his money where his mouth is. He took $12.5 million times 2. That gives Edmonton 3 more years with him. And I still say if we win the cup in those 3 years, he will sign an $8 million contract. Now, he won't sign for 12.5 again. That'll definitely, probably in 3 years, he'll be looking at about the $20 million mark because the cap keeps raising. So that will be reasonable. But who can fault him? He's taken the haircut to win in the short term. And like for decades, I've been hearing people say they wish players would do this in all sports, not just hockey, in all sports. And time after time, people are disappointed because players don't do this. They always go for the money. Look at Matthews. He's not worth what he got. Like, I don't think Matthews is worth over 10, which is still a hell of a contract, but I don't think he's worth over 10 million a season. But he held Toronto up, and Toronto paid him. Matthews makes more money than McDavid does now, which is absolutely asinine. Let's be honest. It's asinine. But that was McDavid's choice, so I applaud Connor McDavid. Connor McDavid is the captain of the Edmonton Oilers, and nobody can deny he's the leader of the Edmonton Oilers. The Edmonton Oilers live and die with Connor McDavid, and Connor McDavid has done everything in his power to make them live. Now it's up to the team, the coaches, and the management. Can they do it? As an Oiler fan, obviously, I'm hoping and praying they do. I still have some real issues with this lineup, but we'll see how it plays out. But yeah, so well done, Connor McDavid. Thank you. On behalf of all Oiler fans, and you will almost never hear me talk on behalf of all Oiler fans, because in most situations, it's such a split that no reasonable person talks on behalf of all. But in this one instance, thank you, Connor McDavid. On behalf of all Oiler fans, we applaud you. And that's really all there is on that topic. Whether he wins the cup or not, I don't know. But he will go down as 1 or 2, because we always have Wayne Gretzky in the conversation, and you can never take Wayne out of it. But he'll be 1 or 2 in Oiler history, bar none. So, again, well done. Congratulations. And I hope you win the cup. Even not as an Oiler fan, for you, I hope you win the cup now. And yeah, so that's the big story that came out today, Monday, October 6th. So we don't have this hanging over our head going into the season. We know exactly where the team's situated, and there we go. All right, so now let's get to the fun stuff. I told you I wasn't going to stop mocking the Leafs, so it's time for my favorite part of this series. Let's make fun of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Oh boy, so I follow a website called Leafs Suck on Facebook, and that's where I get all these mimes that I use in these videos for making fun of the Toronto Maple Leafs. And the other day I posted in there that I put a post because it had been pretty quiet there for a couple of weeks. I put a post, come on, you guys, you're slacking. I need some material. And wow, did they respond? I got material, including one I'm going to save for Halloween because it's just the perfect one for Halloween. But so right off the bat, we got 2026 Stanley Cup Parade. From Nathan Phillips Square to University Avenue and Queen Street, down to University Avenue and York Street, down to York Street and Lakeshore Boulevard, over to Exhibition Place. And what brought this on, you ask? The Toronto Maple Leafs beat the Ottawa Senators 4-3 in a preseason game. And this funny part about it is it's really not that far from the truth. This is how Leaf Nation works. For the second one, we got, don't worry, the Leafs will win a cup when the time is right. And then we got a picture of a clock. Take a look at the clock, people. And for the third one of this week, and I'm going to stop at this and save some of these in case it slows down again, we got, oh look, a shooting star. I wish the Maple Leafs would win. And the shooting star reverses course and goes back up into the sky as the Leaf fan cries. So there we go. Let's make fun of the Toronto Maple Leafs. I love this segment. I really do. So speaking of McDavid, I wanted to show you this, how quickly this turns. And like, people talk about the insiders in the media, and you know, it's like, well, I heard this insider say this, and I heard this. Ryan Rashad here in Edmonton, he works for TSN, but he's out of Edmonton, and he's very in touch with the team. And on Sunday, he put out this tweet regarding the McDavid talks. I would expect dialogue between the two sides over the next day or so, but as of Sunday, nothing is decided on, and despite speculation, no press conference planned Monday. This could very much still go either way between now and Wednesday home opener. A methodical approach has been taken from the start by McDavid and his agent, and the same process applies even as the season is about to open. That was his Sunday post, and then 12, 13 hours later, McDavid decided he was signing for 2 years at $25 million. Like, that's how quickly it turns. And the insiders are speculating 99% of the time. They're an educated speculation, like they have the sources, but they're speculating. They don't know. And this proves it, like with Ryan. He basically was saying, he hedged his bets in this, but basically he was saying there's no deal being made by Wednesday, is basically what he was saying. And then Monday came around and McDavid signed, just like that. Boom. So, you know, whenever you're quoting the insiders out there, and, you know, I quote Elliott all the time. I have high regard for Elliott, high respect for Elliott. But when you're quoting the insiders, you know, you got to realize that it's not always as cut and dry as what people think. Like, it's not some grand conspiracy that they're hiding the facts from you. They honestly don't know. They're speculating. That's their job, is to speculate. So that's that. Oh, and just because I got to show this one, it should have been in, well, it's not really making fun of the Toronto Maple Leafs, but Canada's Special Olympic draft pick, Mark Carney. This picture, this is not a Photoshop picture, people. This was Mark Carney when he forced his way into an Oiler practice last year. And he did force his way. It wasn't the team's idea. He contacted Katz and he forced his way for a photo op, and then the media all gushed about it. It was a photo op that he demanded. He wasn't invited. He wasn't wanted. It's not like he's loved in Edmonton, because he's not. It's just, but he came out, and this is an actual photo of him. Look how he holds a hockey stick. I mean, he likes to say, well, I was a goalie. Well, he was a backup goalie in a college team. And, you know, so, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. Look at how he holds stick. Goalies don't even hold the sticks. I've known, my brother was a goalie. I've known lots of goalies over the years. They don't hold sticks like that. This is just who he is. You know, and now I'm not going to show you the picture, but now he's rah Jays, you know, Mark Carney jumps on board of any hockey, baseball, sport team in Canada as a photo op, you know, and I honestly don't believe he gives a crap about anyone in Canada. But I'm going to stop there. As I said, I don't do politics, but this came across and it made me laugh. So, all right, so we have other news going on here. So let me pull this up for y'all. All right, this is from the Oil Drop Revamped, another Facebook group that I belong to. Oilers announce Matthias Janmark goes on IR. They've loaned Isaiah Howard and David Tomasek to Bakersfield and recalled forward James Hamlin. This will have them $834. Wow, is that tight, huh? Under the cap and cap compliant for day one. Then tomorrow, Zach Hyman, and once day one happens, the day after, Zach Hyman will move to LTIR. Hamlin will go back to Bakersfield, and they'll recall Howard and Tomasek, and they'll be fine. But for day one, they have to be cap compliant. So that's what these moves are. So we have $834. Gee, I wonder if we can get a signing. Anyway, they're doing some salary gymnastics, and thankfully Tomasek and Howard don't have to clean waivers. That's why they're going down. Don't look at it as a reflection of them or their play. Howard for sure is going to get 10 to 15 games with the big club. I think it's 20 games and then you have to be waived. So he might even get up to 19. I don't know if they've changed that or not, so don't quote me on that number. It might be an old number. But anyway, you get the idea. They will play Isaiah Howard to one game under the max. And if he's made the team, he's made the team. But if he hasn't, that's when they'll send him to Bakersfield and he'll play in the AHL. And I still fully expect him or Savoy is going to Bakersfield this season. So, yeah. And Zach is going to be out for an extended period of time. But they don't want to put him on LTIR right now because then it counts against the cap. But if they leave him on IR with his salary counting against our cap until after the opener, then they can put him in LTIR and his salary comes off of our cap. That's how it works. So that's why it's all playing out this way. So the other big news is Jake Wallman has signed for 7 years at $7 million a season. So we have Wallman for 8 more seasons because he's still got a season remaining on his cap, on his previous contract as well. So we have Wallman signed up for 8 years. We have McDavid signed up for 3 years. And we just re-signed Frederick as well for 8 years. So, they're starting to build a core again. And like I said, I really liked watching McDavid, Draisaitl, and Frederick together. And I hope they stay with that come the regular season, at least until Zach Hyman comes back. But we'll see. But yeah, so there's that. The other big news that came out earlier in the week, last week, was the Oilers traded for Connor Ingram. We did not get him off waivers. And the reason for that was because he was carrying, I believe it was a $1.8 million a season contract. So he got sent down in Utah. They sent him down, and then we traded for him as an AHL goalie for us. First off, because he cleared waivers to Utah, we can trade for him and send him straight to Bakersfield. He doesn't have to clear waivers again. Second off is Utah is retaining, I believe it's $800,000 of the 1.8 contract. So it's a $1 million contract rather than a 1.8. So that was a bit of good work by Stan Bowman. And what Oiler Nation had to say is, nevertheless, I would strongly argue that Ingram has a lot more upside and potential than many think. In my mind, this is not just a depth move, but a move for a goalie that has genuine chance to become a difference maker in 2025-26. And I agree with that. Like, he was a starter, but then Utah was not a good team. And the Coyotes were not a good team. So, he's played for bad teams. And as I've said in other videos, you got to look at who they're playing for, too, when you're basing this. So I think him going to the AHL Bakersfield is perfect. And if he finds his game, and hopefully we don't need to call him up from an injury, but if we do get an injury to Stu or Pickard, then we call him up and we see what he can do. And if nothing else, being NHL ready should push Skinner and Pickard to, there's somebody in the wings. I have to be more aware now. It isn't like we have Rodrigue there who's never played an NHL game. We have an NHL ready goalie who's just fallen on hard times. So I don't see a downside to this. I really don't. I think it was a great signing by Bowman. The stats are from 22-23 through 23-24. Connor Ingram had a plus 26.6 goal save against expectations. God, I hate that stat. What this stat tells us is that based on the volume of quality of the shots that Ingram faced, he saved about 27 goals more than he was expected to. Now, as I've said in other videos, I hate that stat because how do you tell what he's expected? It depends on the quality of the competition you're facing. Like when you play Utah, I expect our goalies to do excellent. When you play Vegas, well, then there's going to be some goals let in. You know, it depends who you're facing. I don't understand how they can just randomly say goals against expectation. It's like, no, it depends who you're facing. What team? Different teams are going to score more. Different teams are built differently. So if you're playing a defensive team, well, they're not going to be a juggernaut scoring. So yeah, you should be saving the puck. If you're going against a team that's number one in the league for goal scores and your defense is not really all that good, well then, yeah, our goalies are going to get hung out to dry. So I don't like the stat, but I'll fall back to what I said before. He was playing on bad teams against good teams. So, you know, you have to take that into account. And there was times last year and the season before where he was an excellent goalie. And then there was times he was horrible. And you don't know if that's mental, if you don't know if that's physically he's tired, what it is. So I think him going to Bakersfield is perfect. And we'll see where it goes from there. And the other news is the Oilers placed Max Jones on waivers yesterday. I haven't heard of anything. So I think he's cleared today, but I didn't hear anything on the radio telling me either way. But usually when I don't hear something, that means he's cleared and he's in Bakersfield. So Max Jones was waived yesterday, and that's not a waiver to bring him back. He's going down to the AHL, and I don't know if he'll be back. You know, he has health issues, so we'll have to see. You know, it may just be luck of the draw that if he can get it back. He's only 27 years old, but... You know, and he's a first-round pick. Back in 2016, the Anaheim Ducks drafted him 24th overall. So, yeah, we will have to see what happens. And that is my video for this week. If you like this video, leave a like, a subscribe, and a share. I'm trying to grow my channel, and a like, a subscribe, and a share does me wonders, and I do appreciate it. It takes 1 second to subscribe, costs you absolutely nothing, helps me immensely. Just hit the subscribe button on the bottom of the screen. Always feel free to leave a comment. I encourage everybody to leave comments. You know, tell me, do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? What are your thoughts on Connor's deal? How do you see this working out? Let's have a conversation, people. And also, not only does it get us interacting, it really does help me with the YouTube algorithm and getting more eyes on my videos. And as always, pew, 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 and shit. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.